Okay, so now that we have our sky matte, we can go ahead and use this layer as the reference to make the alpha channel for the little clouds that we have. So again, I googled clouds, just dark clouds, and I got this nice little picture. And we can go ahead and scale it up to fit the frame, maybe even a little bit bigger. Flip the sides just to make it look different. Anything that'll make it look a little bit more unique. Maybe we can go ahead and darken this, bring up the contrast, darken it some more, maybe a little less contrast. And go ahead and bring it under the sky replacement that I have pre-composed and set it to alpha matte. That way our sky is our background. And it gets a little bright, so we can rotate it and position it so that way it sticks to it. Now, I already pre-composed this layer. It's in the background, and go to the composites folder that I made and bring the background into the comp. So we have our sky replacement, and we can go ahead and go back to our images and put the cityscape in here now. And we'll take the sky replacement, bring it over the cityscape, and then set it to alpha inverted. That way we have complete sky replacement and the buildings are still there. And as you can see, it's actually pretty decent, pretty good, and looks pretty clean. Now, the sky looks a whole lot different from the buildings in our picture, so we're going to change a couple things around. We're going to go into the cityscape, go to Effect, Color Correction, Curves, and we're going to crush the brightness, not too much, but just enough to make it match. And that actually worked really, really good. It's pretty fast too. Alright, now we can go ahead and pre-compose this layer. We'll call this background final, and we'll open the comp. Now that we have that compressed, we can go ahead and give it kind of a horizon glow, supposedly from all the city lights, and then this big glow from the side, that's supposedly from the sun. So we'll just close this up. In the comp, we'll make a new solid, and we'll make this a white solid. And we're going to call this horizon. Okay it. And bring it under the cityscape. Click the eye, so we shut off the layer. And go to this ellipse tool. Click and drag. Press Control and Shift at the same time. Make sure you're holding them. That way we make a perfect circle. And drag it left to right, top to bottom, just to make it bigger. And make sure it's off to the side a little bit. So this looks pretty good. Press F, bring up the feathering options, turn on the eye, feather it out so it looks good. Even MM, and turn the opacity down to your liking, and you can see that we have a little bit of a glow from the side. You can also create another one by using the rounded rectangle tool. Click and drag, make sure it follows the horizon, and you can edit the mask. Bring this down, feather, and we don't even have to turn down the opacity because that looks pretty good. We can close that comp. Now we have our background. Well, background final. So we pretty much have our background that we're going to use for the whole entire footage. Now there's no animation so far, but we're going to start making the meteor. So this is where Trapcode Particular comes into play. We're going to go ahead and create a new solid. This is going to be a black solid. We're going to rename this Meteor. Okay it. And we can go ahead and make sure that it starts off before, but for right now, until we actually get Trapcode in here, we're just going to leave it the same way. So we're going to go to Effect, Trapcode Particular, and this is pretty much a particle generating program or plugin, and it's a very useful tool. A lot of people use it, and apparently it's one of the best out there. Now, if we go to the animation presets, we're going to go ahead and click on Firestarter. Now my HD presets aren't working, so of course I'm not going to go through the embarrassment of trying to fix that, so we're just going to use the standard definition one. Now this is pretty much a cool little effect. It's kind of like fiery smoke, looks pretty cool, and that's perfect for our effect. So we're going to go to the emitter. We can click off the stopwatch with the position XY, and we're just going to start it off over at the corner, and then go to our little marker that we set, because that's going to be our keyframe for when it hits the side of the panel, or the side of the screen, or the frame, wherever that is. So click and hold, or drag, and select these both stopwatches for the position XY and the position Z. And we're going to go to the beginning, and we're going to change the position so it starts off here. So as we move through the time, it actually travels across the frame. Now, this is why I wanted to tell you why I wanted to move the layer forward. Go ahead and unclick the stopwatches, that way we have no frames. Go to the beginning, to the position XY to the top right corner. Click the stopwatch and move the layer to the side, a couple frames worth. That way we can see the actual position of where it is when we move it in Z space, so we know where we can set the beginning frame for where the smoke is going to come from. So that looks pretty good. We can start it off from right here. Click the position Z, move to our marker, bring it down, and then set it to 0. And there we go, we have a nice traveling meteor. But of course, it only goes to the top of that tower, so we're going to adjust it to make it go where we want it to go.